the mission as well. So we really appreciate you guys being able to be here and enjoy our space and being able to have something to offer where we can have gatherings like this and come together. And I began Lifeway under John and Shiloh. She's actually an amazing homeopath here in Sedona, and I think she's well known in the community. But she's very passionate about these patches that we have here, these stem cell patches, and she has some amazing stories to tell. And before I hand the mic over to you, I'll tell you, I have a friend who also got signed up. She actually signed up under John before I did. And she's gone through a lot of car wrecks, brain accidents, brain trauma and car accidents and stuff. And she has these dogs that she loves to rescue. And these dogs, she has one that just basically broke its back and was paralyzed and wasn't really expected to make a recovery. And she's got videos with this dog running around with the Lifeway stem cell patches on its back, walking and running around and having a good old time, just within about a month, 2 months after the accident. So these aren't just for people, they're for your pets too. So, but without further ado, I want Jonna to come up and tell her stories and her experiences with Lifeway.
I'm so happy to be here. As she mentioned, I'm a homeopath, and the thing I loved about homeopathy was that it actually stimulated your body to heal itself. And when my friend Sunwolf called me, he said, I have these amazing patches, they're stem cell patches. Now, I've been studying stem cells, and when I heard that, I said, that's baloney. You have to keep stem cells frozen in the refrigerator, in the freezer, and then they have to rush it to you before they give it to you and all of that, because I've been down in Mexico to get stem cells. And he said, no, you don't understand. They stimulate your own stem cells. And so I started researching it, and that's when I got excited. And I had an opportunity to try them at the beginning. I have a kind of a congenital thing with my knee, so both of my hips actually ended up needing to be replaced. First one I got, the first hip, I didn't have the stem cell patches. I got to compare my recovery with the second one when I did have the stem cell patches, and it made a huge difference. In fact, one scar healed faster than the one I had done a year and a half ago because I had the stem cells. So that was the first thing. That was very exciting to me. And the pain after the surgery was hugely reduced using the stem cells. So anyone going in who has to go in for surgery, hopefully you can avoid it, with the stem cell patches should actually use them, even dental work, all of that. I have a neighbor who took out a loan. He didn't have the money for $10,000 to get each of his knees shot up with stem cells. And two months later, he was still on crutches. And that's when I discovered the patches. So I went over to him and I said, Jim, you got to try these patches. He tried them, and within 2 weeks, he was off of his crutches. And that was so amazing to me because the shots can be helpful, but they're just a one-shot deal if they work, and they don't work forever. But when you use the stem cell patches, you get ongoing daily stimulation with stem cells from your own body. And they don't have to do that weird thing where they take the fat, which is like a double procedure. So I've been so excited about these patches, and I've seen so many miracles. I'll just tell you one other one that I did, and then I'll turn it over. But I saw it was right at the beginning, and there was a woman who was brought to me who had had a stroke, and she was better. It took years. She had to learn how to walk and talk again. So I said, well, is there something that isn't quite right for you still? And she said, I can't write. I'd love to be able to at least write my name. And so I said, well, this is new to me, but let's try something on you. And we do have a specific protocol for brain injury, including the stem cell patch. And so I put this hat on her head that had the patches in the hat. And after 10 minutes, I said, I don't know if it's gonna work, but here's paper and pencil. Let's see, let's keep checking you. She wrote her name for the first time in 2 years. And that was amazing. So that, all of those things really sold me on them. And I love to give them to my clients in addition to anything else I do with them. And I just love them. And I'm so happy to see you here because it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience with them. Thank you.
And now we kind of want to bring up Sunwolf. He's been in this a long time and I love his enthusiasm. And he's going to give us some more experiences with patches.
More experiences. I mean, look at all these. Fantastic to see you all. I'm so blessed. We're so blessed. I have above average health. So I never had a testimony to share. I use other people's story, but I do have a story. I do have my own story. 3 stories in one. I'm into sports, racquetball, tennis. I'm at this racquetball club. It's not a clean club. I scraped my knee and I started to feel an itch and it got heavily infected, very close to the bone. Cellulitis, abscess. I try to figure it out myself by using castor oil, clay, essential oils, no go. Finally go to the ortho and he says, why did you wait so long? You know what? You're infected close to the bone. And I've heard people that lost their leg. You gotta be kidding. I breathed deeply, did Reiki, and a miracle happened because at that time, I was just getting the experience. So I was told, put on the knee, put on the knee. I did that. I go to the ortho just a couple of days later. He noticed the infection was receding away from the bone. And the wound specialist looked me in the eye in 28 years. She's never seen anything like this. And she said to me, you know, you come from another planet, don't you? I said, I do. So miracles do happen. We just have to give the body an opportunity. And one other thing, being on a computer a lot, floaters, how many of you know about floaters? 80% of it gone. And I had to work on my thumb, so I'm giving you the trifecta. I'm working through my thumb for decades, gone. So it's exciting. I'm thrilled. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I had the honor to introduce dear friends I've known for over 15 years. I met Gregor and Robin at a healthy chocolate event. And as soon as I saw Gregory from a distance, eye to eye, our eyes matched, we walked to each other, and I could feel comfortable to share this with this crowd. I look in his eye after 1 minute of talking, and I said 3 words to him. I love you. I love you. And now we're in this business together. He's been a consultant in the industry. Of course, the perfect couple, Robin, trainer, work closely with Steve Covey, the book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, all about personal growth, all about human development. They actually hosted an enlightened teleseminar series where they interviewed thought leaders, servant leaders, people who are making a difference. And I'll tell you, you guys are making a huge, mega difference. Great to see you. So without any further ado, come on up, Robin and Gregory Mistell.
You know my son, well, he's my son, brother.
Well, we first want to thank Shelley for this amazing place and say that coming to Sedona is we live in Bozeman, Montana. And so coming here is such a gift. And last night I was lying in bed saying to Gregory, we get to work in Sedona. How cool is that? And then we had friends here before. Now we have like a whole bunch more. And then Michael and Crazy Joe came in for the retreat last weekend at the Performing Arts Center. So we came out, we had to come out and support them. So it's like, yes, we got to go to Sedona again. So we're thrilled to be here. And you want to say something before we bring Peter up?
Well, I just want to say, we were here about a year ago and there was about a quarter, we could have just filled two rows here. And, we're so delighted to see the turnout because LifeWave is making a difference in a lot of people's lives around the world in 80 countries and in Sedona. And here we are. So we've got a special guest here for you. And he's a local guy. Some of you may know.
Most of you know him.
Like most of you know him.
Famous.
And I had no idea when a friend of ours, who's one of our LifeWave senior presidential directors, one of our leaders in California, says, "Hey, one of my guys, Peter, lives there, and he'll probably come." And his name is Peter Sterling. He's a award-winning, Emmy-winning, what? Yes. Harp player, there it goes, brain fart. He's gonna come up and do a little serenade to kind of set the tone of the space. And then we're going to go into our presentation. We're gonna give you some education about this historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology. So, Peter Sterling.
Thank you, Peter. What Gregory didn't say is that name is so familiar. It's like, how many years have you been listening to his work? And then today we find out we have many mutual friends. Surprise, surprise. Yes, you would.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here and it's wonderful to see so many familiar faces here. And I just kind of a last minute add-on. I said, let me play my harp for you tonight because LifeWave has blessed me in many ways. And I got turned on to the technology a couple of years ago. And at the time I was struggling with a severe shoulder injury of a torn rotator cuff that I was dealing with for about 6 months. And it was getting worse over time. And I'm an avid yoga practitioner and a health practitioner. And nothing I would do was making a change. And I couldn't sleep on my left side for many weeks. And I was getting depressed and I was surrendering that I might have to have surgery. I was getting ready to see a doctor. And then my friend Beanie called me on the phone in the nick of time and said, you got to try X39. And I did. And within 24 hours, just the pain just decreased significantly. And after just a few weeks, after about a week, I could sleep on my left side again. And after about a month, it like practically completely regenerated my shoulder. And so I'm so grateful. And so I just started sharing it. And it's just, I've helped so many people with so many incredible stories with this technology. And I love LifeWave. It's blessed my life, blessed my family. And David Schmidt, the inventor, incredible guy. I met him at the conference. He told me he was going to move to Sedona. He had found a house here on the hill with a panoramic view in one of our gated communities, and he wanted to move his research laboratory here. He told me he wanted to work in the Sedona 5D energy because he thought it would really enhance his discoveries. But then the pandemic hit and everything changed. But he loves Sedona. Hopefully he'll come again. So I'm just going to play a short little harp blessing, just Sedona style, to set off the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. That's just my phone. I was telling a few people earlier that I had an event like this up on Whidbey Island, and I started out with a belly dancer. I think a harp is more appropriate to me. Okay, let me take a big deep breath. How about you join me? A big deep breath. We are now here. So what you probably don't know is that most all of you are here because of my left knee. And I'll tell you why. I used to be a downhill skier and I love to go fast. And anyone here a downhill skier? Yeah. Well, you fall, the binding doesn't release, the knee gets torqued. So I trashed both of my knees. And I didn't know it when I got my orthoscopic that I was going to need 2 knee replacements. And I was bone on bone after they took out all the cushions. And the first knee replacement was really bad. 80% of people that have total knee replacements have a very good experience. I was at 20%. And I was on Dilaudid for know that. It's a really hardcore narcotic. I got kicked out of physical therapy after a year, and it still wasn't okay, and I still had another one to go. So I started researching stem cells. Anyone have injections, stem cell injections? A few of you, oh, a bunch of you. And raise your hand again if it was really successful. We have a fraction of the hands. This will help. So I started researching stem cell injections, and I went to the seminars, I went online, I figured out what I wanted. I didn't want, 60 some odd year old stem cells. I wanted young ones, right? So we agreed $12,500 out of pocket for a single injection with no guarantee. And we were about to do it. And then the famous phone call came that said, our company has a new technology that activates your own younger stem cells with light. I asked not one question, I just accept, how fast can I get it? Didn't ask what it was, how it worked, how much it cost, put it on the top of my spine, and a week later, my knee pain was gone. And I was a customer. I had no intention of building a business and had amazing results. But how many of you can't not share when you find something good? I couldn't not share. And I was very high profile in another company. I had to be very discreet. And so I shared with some friends, and guess what? They had amazing results too. And one thing led to another, and now tens of thousands, actually a lot more than that, all over the world are having their lives changed because of my left knee, including all of you. So thank you. Now I will fast forward and say the pain was gone, but I did have to have another knee replacement. And I was using the X39 for a year and a half before the replacement. I actually had a custom knee done. So I had taken a few steps up, and the second total knee replacement one of the major benefits, and you heard this earlier, is accelerated healing. So the second total knee replacement, after 3 weeks, I was off my meds, my walker, and my cane for a total knee replacement, which is pretty amazing. And so, again, here we are to share the great news. So this evening, before we jump in, I want to find out, Gregory's going to do a short presentation. Is there anyone in the room that is having like pain above the 6 to 10 level? Anyone in the room have any serious pain? Anyone have less than 6, but uncomfortable right now? No one? Oh my God. We have one? Would you like a little relief? You got your patch, and did it help you?
It helps my knee.
It's helping your knee right now? Okay, well, typically at this time, if someone had serious pain, I demonstrate our pain reduction patch, because 94% of people get instant or rapid relief if they have pain. 94% in clinical studies. So we don't need to, you guys are amazing. It must be Sedona. Is that it? It's the frequency up here. I love it. We need to spend more time here. Okay, so I'm going to turn things over to Gregory, and he's going to do a short presentation, and then we'll have some time for some Q&A a little bit. No? Oh, we have a special.
We have a special guest.
A special guest. Over to you, honey.
All right, thanks, everyone. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, tough act to follow. I'm the driver. Hey, I gotta ask you a question. Does anybody think getting old is cool? I finally figured out what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be younger, okay? You know, the only kids I know that want to grow older is my 2.5-year-old grandchild. You know, he's thinking I want to get bigger and do greater things. But once, you know, you get through the midlife and moving on, you know, getting old isn't so cool. So let me ask you, I'd like to start by asking you a question. If anything were possible, if you could wave a magic wand and change any one thing in your health or in the health of someone you love and care for, what would it be? Is it a mother? Is it a brother? Is it a sister? Is it a spouse? Is it you? You know, if there's one thing that would make a qualitative difference in your life, what would it be? And if we could manifest that change, what difference would that make for you or for them? Okay, and you heard some stories. We're going to bring some other folks up. We're going to share some more stories in a little while. This is like magic, but really it's science, okay? So, and I just want to make a note that our products are not designed or intended to heal, cure, or diagnose any disease, but they do bring your body back into a state of homeostasis or a healthy state of regeneration. And wonderful things start happening when your body starts regenerating itself like it was when you were a younger tyke. So let's say welcome to the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, and live younger. And stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that helps to regenerate every cell in your body, organs, glands, bones, muscles. You know, stem cells are the key. Here's the problem, okay? The problem is the older we get, the less stem cells we have. And the less stem cells, by age 60, only a small percentage remain. And that doesn't sound too cool, does it? And you know what? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. And I don't think any of those things sound very cool to any of us. You know, for example, you know, a young lad falls down, skins his knee, and the scab falls off 3 days later. Grandma falls down, skins her knee, breaks her hip, and lucky to ever get out of the hospital. You know, lucky to ever recover. That's because she has no more stem cells. Well, we've got a technology that could make that difference. And, you know, Robin asked a question about stem cell injections. What about stem cell injections? Well, they're pretty popular, but, you know, they're pretty pricey. You know, they can be painful, risky, controversial. And you know what? No guarantee. You know, we almost spent $12,500. And to this day, I still thank my friend Kai, who called us up that day and said, saved me $12,400. That was a good day because we were getting ready to pull the trigger on that. So here's the good news. We're here to share the good news because you can look, feel, and live younger longer with this historic breakthrough in stem cell technology. It's a new wearable technology, and most of you have already been gifted a patch. Maybe some of you haven't. In fact, I think that everybody that come in that hadn't been patched, did you all get a patch, all the guests? Good, okay. Well, this is a new wearable technology. It's an affordable, safe, non-invasive, it's drug-free, it's totally non-transdermal, and it's a form of patented phototherapy. It's light therapy. This is really, in my opinion, this is like Nobel laureate level research in science. This is the new wave in health technologies. It uses specific frequencies of light to increase your body's ability to heal itself and improve your stem cell activity. So this is very, very exciting news. And this is the brainchild of our visionary scientist, inventor, and CEO, David Schmidt. He's not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, the guy is a genius inventor off the charts. He's already got 130 patents and patent pendings. He's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research for over 20 years, and he's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of this technology. This is a very science-based company. This is not woo-woo. This is wow, because we wake up every morning, we're going to say, wow, because every morning, Rob and I wake up, we can pinch ourselves because we know we're going to hear more miracle stories. And, many studies are always in the works because unlike the owners of many companies that want the bigger car, boat, plane, or house or something else, David wants to do more research. And, he's a brilliant scientist, and he spends more time in the laboratory than he does anywhere else. So LifeWave is an 18-year-old research and technology company focused in the field of health sciences. And it started back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology that David actually developed under a U.S. government contract for the Navy SEALs. And we've actually got a Navy SEAL here tonight that's going to be talking to you about when he found out about LifeWave. So he's got a story to tell. But it was designed to help them increase their strength, stamina, and endurance without the use of drugs, caffeines, and stimulants. It turned out to be so popular, it's now used effectively for professional athletes around the world. Our corporate headquarters, laboratory, and manufacturing is between California, Utah, and Ireland. And Peter, this is the first time I heard that David was thinking about setting up a laboratory in Sedona. Darn, that is so cool, because he is into the 5D consciousness, I promise you. A little personal story. The first time I met David, I can say it to this group, I can't say it to many groups. So many of you know what the Sri Yantra is, okay? It's a very high geometric thought form. And I have a big one in my office behind my desk. And I get on this Skype meeting with David, and he's going, is that a Sri Yantra behind you? I said, yeah, it is. And then he starts fumbling around on his computer, and he brings up his screen. He says, this is my screensaver, and it's a Sri Yantra. So he is, the guy, he is amazing. He's got a heart of gold. So now we're already distributing to over 75 countries from 15 global distribution centers. The word's getting out and used by professional and amateur athletes in almost every sport. The media's begin to notice, and you know what? You might too, if you look at some of your favorite athletes and Olympians, and you see these auspicious little white patches on them, that is LifeWave, okay? So how does the technology work? This is interesting to me because I'm kind of a science nerd. It's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And each of those LifeWave patches contains very specific organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they're applied or near your body heats up the crystals and they start radiating and re-emitting targeted frequencies. And each of our different patches emits a different frequency for different biochemical, biological benefits within our body. And it's just amazing. It's almost like homeopathic laser therapy, but you don't go into your doctor to get it once a week or once a month. You put it on your body once a day, and it's ongoing. So photobiomodulation is a basis for LifeWave phototherapy patches and technology. And it's been a well-recognized scientific principle that different frequencies of light can affect different changes within the body. For example, everybody knows when you go out in the sun, there's a specific frequency of light, maybe you don't know this, but there is a specific frequency of light that hits your skin and tells your skin to make vitamin D. You're not getting a vitamin D download from the sun. You're getting a light frequency download from the sun, and your body starts manufacturing vitamin D. And the same, with ultraviolet, causes your body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, LifeWave's technology is based on the same exact rock solid, well-recognized, proven scientific principle. Okay, so now for the last 14 years, the focus of our 18-year-old company has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And about 4 years ago, they released to the world the LifeWave stem cell activation patch, which just has blown the roof off our company sales, and the results people are getting is literally off the charts. Truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell technology. Robin and I were fortunate enough to get involved just when the product was just beginning to be launched to the field, and it was still in beta test. And so we were blessed, right place, right time. And some are calling this the holy grail of anti-aging, because we're actually doing what big pharma and the big scientific companies, the multi-billion-dollar companies cannot do, is activate your body's own stem cells. So this is breakthrough. This is amazing science and technology. And what I'd like to do is, so it's a stem cell activation, a true breakthrough. David says, this is my greatest accomplishment yet, an emphasis on yet, because what's coming out of that mind and laboratory, God only knows, but it's wonderful, okay? And so yes, we have patents, yes, we have clinical studies, yes, we have amazing field results proving that LifeWave is actually, X39, LifeWave X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers and everybody else, that's pretty exciting news. So what I'd like to do right now is play a short little 3-minute video that just puts a little bit more perspective on the science of the products. Well, maybe we're not going to play that.
But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just...
We're going to pause. Oh, we got to shut the music off. Okay.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Unless you're using LifeWave. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering its amazing life-enhancing technology to people across the world, always helping the body do what it was designed to do, only better. And as it turns out, the best was yet to come. David Schmidt, our founder, creative force, and world-class inventor behind LifeWave technology, has recently achieved something in the field of regenerative science with a single LifeWave patch that researchers worldwide, spending years and billions of dollars, could not. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. The secret? By harnessing the power of LifeWave's patented phototherapy, X39 uses light to elevate a peptide proven to signal the activation of stem cells. Think about it. These are the cells that generate and regenerate all the cells and structures of the human body. They're the building blocks for our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an internal repair system everywhere. But as we age, stem cells become less effective. Their ability to repair damaged tissue is reduced. In fact, by age 60, they've slowed dramatically. But all that changes when just one LifeWave X39 patch is placed anywhere on the body each day. Instead of older and less effective stem cells, X39 supports the production of younger and healthier stem cells. This amazing level of control over your vitality and well-being was simply not possible, let alone this easy, until now. And the best part, like all LifeWave patches, X39 is safe, non-invasive, and incredibly cost-effective. Look what people are saying about LifeWave X39. Backed by clinical studies, multiple patents, and 20 years of development, any one of these benefits would be impressive. But X39 is so effective, it can influence everything about your body, how you look, feel, perform, and heal. It's time you experience the power of X39. Imagine investing in companies like these when they first went public and riding their growth to where they are today. Those who made wise decisions to get involved gained incredible wealth. Now it's your turn. When it comes to regenerative anti-aging science, stem cells are the future. And thanks to LifeWave, you are at the forefront of it all. Don't miss out. X39 puts you on the threshold of explosive growth in your business like no other product ever could. And all you need to do is try it and share it with others. The LifeWave X39 patch, an absolute breakthrough. For your body, for your business. Live long, live well, live younger. Experience the power of LifeWave today.
Cool. I love that video. I've seen that video 1,000 times. And I love it every time I see it. And I love this company. And I love what we're doing for people's health and longevity. And for many people, you know, creating a really nice supplementary or replacement income. We're really blessed tonight to have a special guest. He spent close to 40 years serving our nation as a Navy SEAL and then on to the CIA. And he's got some story to tell about when he initially heard about this amazing technology, maybe some of the results he's getting with some of his family, friends, and his following. So Michael Jaco, give him a big hand.
Thanks. It's great to be back in Sedona. We lived here for 5 years and we came back for this latest conference, and wow, fantastic. So the time that I spent in the CIA, I would go overseas and see a bunch of stuff and work with people overseas that were part of hunting down terrorists. I was part of hunting down terrorists in CIA. Same thing I'd done in the SEAL teams. So it was interesting to have some of those guys. I would talk to them. So in the SEAL teams, we'd always have the most high-tech stuff. CIA was the same way, as you can imagine. Usually like 50 years way ahead of everybody else getting it. So I would work with stuff and then I would say, I wonder when we're going to get that. And then eventually, many, many decades later, it started to come out into the public, like GPS and, you know, some of the high-tech stuff we're seeing now. So it's like some of the guys were, you know, still in the teams that I would see downrange, and I would ask them, you know, what's going on? What's going on back there? Because I always wanted to know what the guys were up to. And I heard there was a new energy patch that the guys were using. I was like, energy patch, what's that? Yeah, just put it right on the collarbones, and it gives them energy. Now I can tell you that when I was in the SEAL teams, we would go like all day and all night. When we went through Hell Week, where we went through a whole week of like going and going and going and very little sleep, it basically prepared us for when we went in the SEAL teams, and did that pretty close to that. So we would go on, you know, training missions, sometimes combat missions, and we'd be gone for like hours and hours and hours, swimming, jumping out of planes, all the stuff we do, and then doing our combat, you know, mission, and then coming back. So we go out in the middle of the night and then come back, and it was long. And I remember we'd come back, you know, we were training, and we'd like go to the local restaurant that had pancakes and stuff like that. We'd like stacks of pancakes because we were like just so sucked dry of energy, you know, we just needed some calories. So I heard these guys were using it, and there was like just endless energy. I was like, wow, I missed out on that. So then when I got it, you know, I think it was like, we're living here, and I had some guys who were downrange who said, hey, we got this thing. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait till it comes out. I can use that. And then sure enough, about a decade later, I started hearing about it. And and it's all out for now. And that's, you're hearing about it right here. So I was like, I got to try that. And I talked to David Schmidt, actually talked to the inventor. And I started my own business and started using the products, and wow, it blew me away. Now, when I was in the SEAL teams, I had my kneecap shattered. So it had always given me some problems. So I used the pain patch on it. And I remember telling David about it. I was like, David, I only needed it for like 2 weeks and then it was done. I haven't had any problems with it since. He's like, well, that's not really a great business model, but you know, but the X39 will continue to make you even better. And I was like, you're right, yeah. So it's done a lot of stuff. So my wife has been injured, and she's used the patches, and it looked like a really bad injury, and it was like instantly, almost, it was gone. She bumped her leg, and a dishwasher, the door was down, and just bumped into it. And I was like, oh my God, that's going to be bad. And she put the patches all around it, and within days, it was good. It was wound healing. Wound healing is amazing. So I was like, what else can we do with this stuff? And I was like, yeah, we can like help lose weight. We can like, suppress appetites and addictions and so forth. So, I mean, the technology is going to continue to go and continue to grow. And I'm very excited about it. And I think as we move into the future with this product, because I've been to David's laboratory, and I guess not too many people get a vibe there, but you know, that Navy SEAL thing. So I got to go to his laboratory, and he showed us around. Oh my God, the stuff that's coming for you guys and us. So that's one of the things that I'm amazed about, because like I said, it takes usually decades for us to get this information or this technology, and we have it very soon after, you know, it was developed. So that's the blessing and the great things that we have for this right now. All right, thanks.
Okay, well, let me see if I can turn things back on here. Wake up. There it goes. So I'm just gonna whip through some of the benefits you might experience with X39, and then Robin's gonna come back up, and we have a few other people going to share their story with you. So energy, that's a big one, and that's the company started with energy, the energy patch that Michael was just talking about, and who doesn't want more energy? So and the X39 does that. In addition, it's sports performance. Both helps with performance and recovery from exercise. Substantial difference. I got to remember to keep the microphone next to my mouth here. Some users over the age of 30 report that they're feeling better than they were back in their 20s and 30s and 40s. So substantial difference in your workouts and recovery time. Better sleep. This is one of the most common things we hear the next day after somebody tries X39. The first day says, man, I had the best night's sleep last night. And it doesn't stop on the first night. That's a good news too. And you know, sleep is really important to our health. And how about dramatic pain relief? Most people notice a reduction of pain within minutes of application, and pain relieving benefits of X39 just need to be experienced to be believed. Now, wound healing, this is totally incredible. And we've all seen it, how rapidly wounds heal, about twice as fast as normal. And clinical research has proven when you elevate this copper peptide that X39 activates, it increases production of growth factors, leading to a dramatic, rapid increase in wound healing. So it supports the natural wound healing process. So we recommend everybody before and after minor or major surgical procedures or accidents, you know, you get on the X39 and you'll be glad you did. And how about wrinkle reduction? I'm sorry, this doesn't happen as rapidly as the pain relief, okay? But activating stem cells leads to an increase in the collagen in the skin, which decreases the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, usually within an 8 to 12 week period. We encourage everyone, if you're new starting on the X39, take pictures of your fine lines, those fine points about your life. And also, I do want to mention that scar reduction is another thing. This is amazing. That there's a phenomenon called remodeling, which causes the reduction of scars. And we have so many people who've been on the products, and you know, and they go, where is that scar? Where did it go? I mean, they reduce and some of them just totally go away. I've talked to so many people that have got scars from their, from their teens and 20s, and they're in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And 4, 5, 6 months after being on the products, the scars are totally gone or almost invisible. So scar reduction and wrinkle reduction are two very nice benefits. And how about hair growth? Clinical research has shown with activating stem cells in the scalp leads to hair growth. And one of our top leaders down in Phoenix area, she's a hairdresser, and she says all of her clients, she sees their scalp, and most of her clients are on the product because they're a captive audience. Know any hairdressers? Okay. But she says all of them, she sees their hair growing, increasing in quality and quantity. So this is pretty amazing. And youth renewal, the bottom line, copper peptide GHK activated by X39 actually helps to reset about 1/3 of the human genome. Over 4,000 of our genes are reset to a younger, healthier state. And this is just nothing but good news for those of us that are moving on in years. The result is just a healthier and better you. So real people, real results. So Robin's going to introduce a few more people that have some real results for you to hear.
Thank you, Gregory. Isn't he good? He makes me look good. Yay. So, the results are cumulative, and that's exciting. So, if someone says, well, do you ever want to stop wearing the patch? I said, unless something else better comes along, I'm going to keep wearing this because a lot of things get better and better. So there's a recent study that was just published a few weeks ago on muscle and bone density. And the study was done on women over 60. This is very exciting. And cognitive function. Does anyone have any concern about the aging process and cognitive decline? What was that? You can't remember. Exactly, you got it. It's amazing. And so things are subtle over time. They get better and better. And, I had this finger that my entire body weight fell on this finger. It was stuck like this for 20 years. And someone said, well, my crooked finger straightened out. And I went, oh my. So it's really fun. So the handout that you got has a tracker on it. So pay attention to those things because they get better. And take a picture of your face in really good lighting and then wait 8 to 12 weeks. I'm not quite so afraid of the magnifying mirror. I'm turning 69 on Wednesday. So I know, pretty exciting. Thank you. Spring baby, a robin was on the windowsill. It's actually a true story. In the Jewish faith, you name after someone that has passed away, so it's named after Uncle Robert. But it gets better and better and better over time. And now I'm out. I took up skate skiing. Does anyone know that? It's intense. It's 69 years old, but I'm doing it, and I'm working out all the time, and I'm strong and healthy again, and I'm so grateful because I'm getting my athletic self back. So, Baya, you want to come up and share briefly? You have a story to share from someone, and then Sunshower. Okay, great. We have the stories are endless. So this is Baya. You have a local business here, don't you?
Yes, I think it owns me. Yes. The name of my business is Ambaya Gold Health Products. So I've actually been into health for a very, very long time. And I share a little story that makes me be very, very clear about why this works. So, okay. So many years ago, in 1979, I got the incredible opportunity to have a blessing from Baba Muktananda. I don't know how many of you know who he is, but I had, at the time that I met him, had no idea who he was or what a guru meant or anything. But he gave me a blessing with his big peacock feather. And immediately I was able to see all of the unseen world, all of the scintillating light with incredible millions of colors in incredible geometric forms, just scintillating. And the thing that really got me was everything was moving color at a fantastically fast speed, and yet I could see form. I could distinguish each one of you, or a chair or a desk or a tree. And it just drove me almost nuts. It's like, how can this be? So I know that we are light energy beings, and that light is basically what we're made up of. So the incredible ability of this man to be able to put it in a little bitty receptacle, to be able to resonate it and enlarge it is huge. So anyway, I was in Mexico last week with two of my brothers, and one of their wives was really sick when I got to see her. And she was in bed, she wasn't about to get up, she couldn't hardly move. So luckily I had my little 39 thing, and I gave her one, and I gave her the other ones that I had with me was a glutathione and a carnosine, I think. And literally within 10 minutes, she was up, she took a shower, she was ready, she went.
Thank you. It can happen really fast. I tend to be conservative on expectations because we like people to give it 60 to 90 days. A lot of our practitioners say 3 to 6 months because what's going on in your body didn't happen overnight. And yes, it is miraculous what this technology does, but give it time. And it is fun when it happens right away, but it doesn't always. So Sunshine, would you like to come up and share this is such a cool story. We have so many amazing stories. Every day I wake up, every day, I know I'm going to hear miracles. It's a really good way to live. And here's another one.
Thank you, Robin. Well, I've been in Sedona since '87, and I've known Jana Shiloh, the homeopath that was talking to you earlier, since that time. And I've always entrusted my health to her. And so she introduced me to LifeWave. And I said, no, thanks, because I knew it was network marketing. And I'd already done that, and I resisted for at least 6 months. And finally she said, here, just take a few of these patches, X39. I go, where should I put them? She goes, just put one on where it hurts. Well, I had had a pain for 17 years from an injury. And it was like a stitch, like I'd been running for 10 miles every single day. If I was driving, it really hurt me. So I always had to have my hand like so, and I couldn't drive with both hands. It just hurt too much. And so I put the patch on the first day, didn't notice a difference. Second day, had to do a little driving, put my hand there, got to my destination, did what I needed to do, left, went to put my hand there, and I didn't need to. And I haven't needed to since. So a 17-year pain, it's gone. I've got lots of stories in between. I've been doing this now for about 2.5 years. And I'd like to tell you another one that's pretty cool. So I was born without the ability to smell. So it has nothing to do with COVID, right? It's just, I could never smell. Other people are like, smell this? And I go, I can't smell it. And so I was consistent with my X39. This is the point. So last July, I was weeding in my backyard, and I had 2 different weeds in both hands, right? One in each hand. I went to just put them in my little bag here. And as they passed in front of my face, I go, wow, these 2 weeds, they smell different from each other. What? And now I can smell. So, well, it seems my hair is turning darker. I don't know if you can see, but I'll be 74 in June.
Can you imagine not having a sense of smell for all those years, then all of a sudden it waking up? The body is miraculous when you give it the right frequencies to do what it's designed to do, which is come back to homeostasis. It's the body that does the healing, not the patches. They just provide the frequency. So does anyone else have a burning share from an experience that you've had that you want to briefly share? Anyone? Yeah, come on up. Great. You know how to tell a compliance story, right? A compliance story?
Well, Sunshine turned me on to these patches. Oh, okay. Sunshine turned me on to these patches about 2 years ago. And I says, well, stem cells at my age, I could use them, you know? So I give it a try for 6 months. And about 3 months in it, I noticed, man, my energy was great. I'm working harder, I'm sleeping better, just feeling great, you know? And about the 4th month, I went for my biannual eye exam. And the eye doctor says, he's all confused. He's looking at the new report and last 2 years ago. He says, something's wrong with my machine or the girl that did the testing because you don't have glaucoma anymore. He says, that doesn't happen. It doesn't go away. He says, I thought we'd do surgery this year. And then I says, well, I noticed my floaters are all gone. I says, I missed them, you know? And so he says, then he does the eye test. And he goes, this is interesting. He says, I'm lowering your prescription. Are you sure you want it here? I says, yeah, I see better there. So he lowers my prescription. He says, what the heck are you doing? You know, I says, I'm doing these stem cell patches. I don't know. You know, I says, like, I guess it's that, you know, nothing else. And so that's my main story. But about into 1 whole year, I noticed scars disappearing, scars that I had for 30, 40 years. This nail, when I was 17, was split in half, never grew straight. I'm 78 years old. All of a sudden, if you look at my nail, it's perfect. And my nails grow so much faster than they used to. So if you're anywhere over 40, you should be doing these patches, man.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, we got one more. This is Dr. Dennis Pena. He's the Bigfoot doctor. Okay. He came all the way up from Phoenix to be here with us tonight.
So I say Robin's knee is the knee that launched 1,000 businesses. That's a reference to Helen of Troy. So anyway, mine is not one story. I've patched more people, and I've been using the stem cell patches for about 3 years because of Robin and Connie Lucas. And I patched more people than probably everybody in this room. So it's not my story, it's everybody else's story. This is what I tell people. I says, this is not just me. I have seen things that shouldn't be happening. And when people talk about the scars, can only, your body can only do so much and then it's stuck. And so when people are looking at these scars, some people say, oh, my wound healed fast. That doesn't impress me. What impresses me is your old scar remodeling. That doesn't happen. And I use stem cells on wounds. I'm a wound care expert. I worked for 30 years in foot surgery. I use stem cell, not patches, but actual grafts. And I use those, so I know what's possible. And people don't understand it. And this is crazy because he just said, I think I don't see my floaters anymore. And I didn't realize it until tonight. So, but that my vision hasn't got better, but my floaters have. But not everybody's going to feel the same. I've put patches on people that, like Robin said, the ice wave, that's almost 90%. And I inject people, so I know how long things take. I know what shouldn't, what can't happen. I get better results with the ice wave than I can in large body parts with injections, number one. Number two, everybody's different. I have people who I put the X39 on their neck, they go, there's a ranger buddy of mine, you know, his neck's always craned up because he's always, you know, looking down scope. He says, oh, my neck pain's gone. I'm like, how can that happen? Because it takes time to synthesize these proteins, the GHK copper and all this, and switch on your genes. So it doesn't matter. The bottom line is results. It works. You're not crazy. People say, oh, I don't know, and I don't. That's fine. Just try it. And if it works, then use it. If it doesn't, then don't. Keep getting older. And when people say, do I have to keep using this for the rest of my life? I say, are you going to stop aging? Are you going to continue aging? So that's it. I've had hundreds of people have results. And everybody's different. Just be patient and just believe.
Thank you, Dr. Pena. We have thousands and thousands of healthcare practitioners, MDs, NDs, DCs, acupuncturists. They love LifeWave. They're open to it, first of all, because we have clinical proof. We have over 80 clinical published studies. But what really gets them excited is it enhances the clinical outcome they have with their patients. And so we love working with, I work with a lot of our practitioners, and training them to be a networker is an interesting job I took on. Everyone got this brochure here, and you might want to take a look at, there's some more testimonials. If you have pets, does someone else wanted to share? You want to come up and share?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's important to hear this.
come on up. What's your name?
Debbie.
Debbie. Thank you, Debbie.
I really technically should not be alive right now. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2012. And they have given me 2 days to live twice. I had chemo, I had radiation, it destroyed my body. And I was in racking pain. And Sunshine said, hey, try this. My homeopath gave me this. Just try it, because I was using walkers. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. And I put the X39 patch on and broke into tears. Within 5 minutes, the pain was gone. I had to have facial reconstruction surgery. I just finished that because the radiation killed all of the bone in my face. And so they had to do bone grafts. And then they tore the tendons from my skull by doing that. The only thing that got me through that was X39. And then glutathione. I mean, that is my savior, X39 and glutathione. I thank this company for giving me my life back. I got my sailing captain's license just like a couple weeks ago. And it's just an amazing product, and it helps so many people, and I just am very thankful. And I just, I'm here to help people. I put a patch on a 6'5" man who had terrible back pain, and he broke it down in tears because for the first time the pain was gone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's give it a standing ovation.
A pretty wonderful way to live, isn't it? That we get to change the quality of people's lives. What was that? You have another story. Can you be really, really brief?
Several years ago, and my leg bone, my right leg, and the thigh bone and the hip bone all were broken. And but if I had 3 years fracture on my back, so I just want to tell you that. And now I can dance and cry.
Yay! Thank you, hip and back and all these bones, and now she can dance again. Okay, so we do recommend that most people start with X39. And because it's the most comprehensive patch, we have several other things, but let it do its magic, and then later on, maybe something else. And Gregory's gonna finish up.
Yeah, real quickly, I just want to talk about X39's little brother, or for some of you, little sister. And David keeps cranking it out. This is another stem cell patch. This is the one Robin mentioned earlier, just the clinical studies. You want to come back up and tell about the clinical studies that just came out on X39? Yeah.
Yeah, this new patch that activates AHK-CU, the X39 elevates the copper peptide. And we recommend people actually do your own research and find out what this actually does. There's a whole book on the GHK. That, as Gregory said, is known as the holy grail of health, healing, and regeneration. Like he said, the billion-dollar companies tried to activate it unsuccessfully, and our genius founder, David Schmidt, did it. The X49, the study that just came out that I mentioned earlier on bone and muscle density, which is a serious concern, especially for women as we age. And, you know, to me, the greatest story when this patch came out is an 85-year-old woman who couldn't carry her groceries anymore because her muscle density had decreased so much. And when people lose their independence, it's really hard. And to know that people can get it back again. And so she got more bone density and muscle density, and now she can carry her groceries. So that's the study was on the X49s. Continue on.
So we are the world's leading developer of affordable stem cell technology, and this is stem cell patch number 2. Real briefly, it helps build muscle, as Robin said, fast recovery, stamina gains, improve and protect cardiovascular health, a raft of benefits in addition to the X39. The beauty of it is they work very synergistically together, and simultaneously you can unlock their synergistic benefits. Stem cell activation, while the X49 helps reshaping the body and improving body composition, muscles and bones, and many other wonderful things. So I just wanted to mention that. They are available together in what's called a performance bundle. And so you can get with the person that invited you and find out more about that. Real quickly, I just want to talk briefly, just wrap it up, talking about the stem cell industry, the stem cell market. Billions are being spent on stem cell research, development, and technologies worldwide. It's the leading edge of the science of health science research. Demographics are certainly in our favor because the world's getting older and stem cell injections are expensive, painful, no guaranteed results, where X39 is affordable, effective, it's safe, it's non-invasive, it's risk-free. So I'm going to tell you just real briefly that for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, you too can look, feel, perform, and live younger with X39. And if you chose our performance bundle, for the cost of a cup of coffee and a scone, you could get X39 and X49 to look, feel, and perform younger. So there's 3 ways to get started. This is the wrap up. This is you can start as a retail customer. A month's supply of X39 is $149.95. And you get there's a second way where you can save some money. You can buy it at wholesale at the distributor price. It's only $99, $99.95 a month. So you save 33%, you can save $50. There's a $19.95 membership fee, kind of like Costco, to get access to the wholesale pricing. No long-term commitments required, but the product will be automatically shipped to you each month. And once you start having results, you won't want to miss a month. I promise you that. Unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee, risk-free. You can try it in the comfort of your own body. And the third way is you can become a distributor or brand partner, get paid for sharing. We started by accident as a customer. Robin got such great results, she couldn't stop sharing. And pretty soon we realized it turned into a business by accident. It was non-intentional. We were involved in 2 other businesses, but our hearts went into this one, and we haven't looked back in 4.5 years. So unlike, we all tell our friends about good books and good restaurants and movies, but here you can tell your friends about X39, and you can get generous personal and team rewards by sharing. And it costs $25 to become a distributor, and we have several starter packs to choose from. So the end is, we want to invite you to get back to the person who invited you here. They may not be here because we have people who sent their friends here in Sedona from all over the country. So, many of you might have been invited by people that aren't here today. So get back with that person. I know that Michael and his team had a booth at the Ascension seminar, and many of you might have come in from contact with Michael, and Michael and Tracy are right here. They'd be happy to talk to you. And we're just so excited to be back in Sedona. And I didn't realize you lived here 5 years, but I wouldn't mind having a second home here someday, and the way our business is growing, we could do that, plus our home in Hawaii, and Bozeman, and a few other places. So I'll turn it over to Robin.
So for those of you, we have some applications if you're ready to get started. The product does come with a 30-day risk-free guarantee. We invite you to get started. As Gregory says, nothing to lose. But
Your health to gain.
And we are doing a program in Prescott tomorrow night. So we have some flyers in the back if you know anyone in Prescott. And on Saturday, we have a big event in Scottsdale. So if you know people there and want to invite them, we will be traveling down. And then we have this wonderful webinar. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, if you'd like to learn more, we have an ongoing webinar that you can register for. It's just POP, powerofthepatchwebinar.com. And it runs several times a day, 7 days a week. And it's about a 30-minute webinar, and it's very informative, and it'll fill in some more of the blanks or answer some more of the questions you might have. But and it's a great way to share this information with friends that, you know, and you might have been inspired when you came here and you go home to talk to somebody else. And now, what did they say? Well, you could just send them to the webinar and we'll say it to them for you.
Okay, so I want to thank the support team that was here. A round of applause. Donna and Sunflower and Roxy and of course Shelley, who was our main host here. We had a whole team putting the chairs up, so we are so grateful to be here. And this is the kind of product that needs a voice. You know, we need your voice. We need to share and let people know that this exists, because people don't know it exists.
X39 does a lot of things, but it doesn't walk or talk.
And we have a beautiful community all over the world, and we get together online, and an amazing community here in Sedona. So, did you want to say something? Would you vote? Oh, we're going to Szechuan after this, if you want to join us. And we'll stick around a little while for questions, and Szechuan's right by Whole Foods, it's off to the right. In the Whole Foods parking lot, if you don't know where it is. So we're going to go there, and everybody's invited. Okay, anything else from anyone? Well, thank you. Wonderful to be here.